Stroke is one of the leading causes of mortality worldwide. Just like heart attack, stroke is a serious health condition. Based on research, it occurs when blood flow to the brain stops due to blockage by clot. According to World Health Organization projection, stroke is likely to worsen in developing countries in 2 decades to come. In Nigeria, the current prevalence of stroke is 1.4 per 1,000, while the 30-day case fatality rate is as high as 40%.
There is a definition by the World Health Organization which defines stroke as, a rapidly developing clinical science, which could be focal or global, affecting the cerebral functions, within 24 hours. In such a case, you find that it happens that the cerebral functions are affected. In the area where the stroke occurred, that aspect of the body that cerebral control will be a little bit dysfunctional, and this stroke could also lead to death within 24 hours.
Why being diagnosed of stroke and caring for stroke patients can be a stressful time, an Abuja-based medical practitioner, Dr. Uchendo, explains the major causes of stroke.
In most cases, when people have this medical challenge, the first thing they want to start thinking about, somebody is attacking them. An enemy somewhere has remembered them. And unfortunately, we're in a society whereby people swimming in ignorance and claiming that they know. The basic truth is this: if people get to understand what is the pathophysiology or pathogenesis or pathological sequence of occurrence of stroke, you don't need to start thinking that it must have been somebody. Most times, stroke sometimes occur, like I said, one, it depends on so many things. I've talked about lifestyle. If BP is not well controlled, or if the person is obese, because stroke can occur if there's a fat that dislodges or a plaque that dislodges from any part of your body and goes straight to, follows the vessel in the brain and blocks that particular vessel, and henceforth thereby not allowing blood flow to get directly to the brain cells. Those brain cells will actually die off. That is stroke.
Emphasizing on the preventive measure of stroke, Dr. Uchendo said that the key to reducing the burden of stroke in the country is primary prevention.
The first thing is to let people know that this stroke is a medical problem and it's something that can be prevented. Like I said, modification of lifestyle, exercise is important. Management of your diet, if you have hypertension, management is very, very important. Somebody who has a comorbidity of diabetes should be able to make sure that your sugar level is maintained within, within the acceptable and appropriate, level for your age and sex. Then, your eating habits. Those who smoke, a lot of cigarettes actually are vulnerable to also having stroke. Then, even alcohol, excessive alcohol. Probably cardiology will tell you, moderate can help a little bit, but some of us, the psychiatrist will tell you, don't even drink at all.
According to medical experts, the injury to the brain caused by stroke can lead to widespread and long-lasting problem, and some people may recover quickly, while others will need a long-term support.
Well, what I tell people, when you talk about curative in medicine, you cure things that probably there is an external something that comes in. In most cases in medicine, when there is a damage in internal system, you don't talk about cure, you talk about management. Let me give you an example. For example, when you talk about somebody has malaria, what happened? It's an external organism gets into the body. And if you want to talk about cure, all you need to do is to give the person the medication that will kill those organisms inside. Immediately the organisms are eliminated, the person is free of malaria at that point in time until there's another invasion. The same thing with some effective, things like salmonella, typhoid, or other things, or infections. But when you talk about things like, diabetes, you talk about hypertension, don't talk about cure, because the major problem is that there is a challenge in the system. And all you're trying to do is to offer a help so that the system will be able to manage itself, so that the person can live at least to a certain level, an optimal life. So when you talk about stroke, a damage has been done to certain areas in the brain. And when these damages occur, usually brain cells, the neurons, they don't regenerate, as other parts of the body. Your muscle tissue can regenerate, other whatever, but the neurons don't regenerate as. And that is why probably things relating to brain management is actually life treatment.
The management of stroke can be quite expensive, hence, efforts should be channeled towards preventive measures as a means of mitigating the impact of stroke. In this regard, there is a need to enhance public awareness of stroke risk factors and symptoms. Uchichi Lemowa, TVN News, Abuja.